Welcome back on Diamond. Today I want to propose you a video about
the unboxing review about the White Dwarf issue 496 of January 2024, released by the Crusades shop. If you're interested about, I made also a video about the rating of the White Dwarf of the previous year, so 2023, that you can find in the description. Here we can find the cover that it's about the Raven, and it's really quite nice, and I like. Anyway, we can find something inside. So there is this that it's simply talking about the schedules that you usually find about the White Dwarf. In this case, there are about the one missions related about warhammer 40k and the Sigmar, that as usually you can see that it's these ones, so double side. And here we have this that it's about the battles, the combat battles, that it's some update that there are about, so eventually you can use. And it's about such good at the end, so it's quite good. Then we have inside here something related about Crusade City, so really quite nice. Something related about the combat pattern, as we've seen. Then we have some siege battles, and I'm really interested about. And also something related about the Slay Crown Sunderting campaign, that is always amazing. So now we have simply to open this White Dwarf and see the contents. Here we can find the thematic over of the White Dwarf, that it's the same that we can see here, simply without any writing. And as usual, I like a lot this one, but remember that you have to make a subscription to be able to have such ones free of any writing. I don't like that it's a bit dated compared to the usual one. Okay, anyway, it's really quite nice. Then we have this that is the introduction about the White Dwarf itself. Here the part about the contents, and there are really quite a lot to see. Here we have the mailing list of the readers to the team of the White Dwarf, so as usual it can be really quite intriguing. There are part about the miniatures, painting and so on, with quite a lot of quality anyway. Here we have also these ones that I don't say that are really quite painted, but I like the themes and also the basing here, so it's nice. Here we have the introduction about the bunker, that as usual it's a way to inspire you to modify and so on, so eventually you can think about such options, that it's really quite nice. And introduction about the crusade, that we start from the next White Dwarf, that it will be related about the Ultramarines and the Knights themselves, that it's the main theme of the campaign of the new edition. Then we have this that it's about the challenges for the bunker. As usually about this, sincerely, I don't care too much, because at the end it's simply a way that you can do. It's an inspiration, don't worry too much. Then we have the part about the missions that we've seen before as cards, but here we have inside. So here it's the one about the warhammer 40k, and here we have the one related about Age of Sigmar, so it could be quite intriguing. Then we have here this that it's a sort of to create a sort of little tournament based on Warcry, so it could be useful. Eventually you can use these things to create your own missions or so on, or to play a sort of campaign other than a tournament. It could be interesting part. So anyway, are new audience that are always welcome. Here it's this part that it's about the training. It's explaining you some rules about the 10th edition of Warhammer 40k, but I suggest you to read eventually also for other games, because they could be useful to give you an idea of how to play and so on. I know that there are basic ones, but they could be useful anyway sometimes. Here some painting, and sincerely, okay, I like, but I never liked such things. So paint on the sprue and then cut off, because you cut off the models then from this, but you had the pieces that were linked that you had to polish and so on, repaint, and so you'd have problems, because there will be some missing. I don't like such thing in such way, but anyway. So anyway, this scheme of color could be useful, I think, and I quite like in such a way. Then we have this that it's about the Sunderting campaign that concludes, but at the same time I think that it's quite nice, because it allowed a new background and it's done quite good. And even as me, you don't play for Path to Glory to play such campaign, I suggest you eventually to read, because anyway it could be quite interesting. Add background and so on, can be inspirational anyway, so I think that it's quite nice. I like also because there are different types of modeling and painting. For example, this Saurus, I really quite like such scheme of colors, sincerely. And also we can see here other options, so I really quite like. They are really not bad as painting and so on. You can copy or use as a referral, because anyway you can change, remember. Then we have this that it's about some painting, about some type of unit. I like a lot this Mortar Guard, that in my opinion it recruits quite a lot the pet effects. Anyway, they're not bad, and you can use again as inspirational. Then we can move on the Warhammer 40k part, so we can skip. We can find here that it's talking about the detachment and so on, the rules dedicated, and it's a way to promote the Adeptus Mechanicus, simply. So it can be seen as an explaining of how to use and so on. If you're going to play with such army, maybe you can find this useful, or if you go to play against, could be also intriguing eventually. Here about the combat pattern with some background related. Here we can see that it's the same that we've seen here, so remember that it's this one. And really, so we have something about these models and so on, how to play them with the rules related. So it's really quite intriguing one if you're interested. Personally, I don't appreciate the combat battle, but it's a way. Then we have this, that it's about the Index Xenos, and it's about the Southek Dynasty, that it's one of the main parts about the background of the Necron. And okay, there are a lot of things that you yet know if you know a bit about the Necrons. Still, I suggest you to read, because there are also quite a lot of advancement about the Southek, and really, it could be really quite nice. You can find some structure about and so on. So there are a lot of things. You have this, that it's sort of little novel that it's about, in this case, the Genestealer cults, and you can find quite a lot of intriguing, so there are a lot of background related. Then we have this, that it's about the combat pattern, so a bit about the rules and so on, that if you're interested about, could be really quite nice to play, so it can be really quite intriguing. Then we move on the Age of Sigmar part. Here we have the Seraphon with the new models, and I quite like. Remember that I made some unboxing about the limited edition and the Battle Force about the Sigmar 1 of 2023 about this, and step by step I'll bring you also the unboxing of building of these models separately, and also the painting. So here we have about the seizing the crown, the Sunderting crown, with a battle report. In this case, we have so the Skaven against the Sylvanet, so it could be really quite interesting. And then we can see the background, the battle report of this background and so on, and I quite like, sincerely, and I always suggest you to read about this, because you could know, for example, some army that you don't know, you could see a game, type of game that you never played, or if you see a plane, you could appreciate because you play the type of game, so that can be Age of Sigmar, so on, as in the case of Warhammer 40k and other. Anyway, you can understand if you can like it or so on. I think that it could be really quite interesting. Moreover, there are photos and so on that maybe can inspire you to get some little dioramas or other that could be intriguing for a duel or so on. I think that it's always nice to see such things. Then I had this, that it's about the weaponries of the famous weaponries that are in the Age of Sigmar part, so we can find some of these descripted and so on. And I always like, because I like such type of added background that it's not usually to be able to find, with a lot of artworks and so on, that always quite nice, and it's a way to know them better, so it's nice. Then we have this, that it's God of Monsters, and here we have something particular to say, because it's related to 2 steps of the background that we can find in the Dawnbringer book 3, The Long Count. Eventually you can find this book about the unboxing and background in the description if you're interested. And so we can find that this it's related about the point where Kragnos it's brought by Krondis to battle against Karandis, that is the red one, and so here we have part of the battle, but we can find also the other 2 ones that are going to participate this, that are the orcs, and are related about such scheme of the orcs or urks that want to seize the power from Kragon itself, and it's really quite intriguing because you can find how they are going to battle in that one. It's a little step more, so remember that we arrived when the battle has yet to start with the Dawnbringer book. Here it's when the battle begins, and so we can see that it's quite intriguing. It's a sort of little amount of background added to the Dawnbringers, but brought here. So we can flip, we can find this, that it's the Tale of 4 Warlords, that it's about 4 armies that are going to be created and so on about Age of Sigmar that will be against each other. And usually I like quite a lot to see such one, because you can see the armies, you can think about using these as an idea for conversion and so on, painting eventually, and you can really take this as a sort of idea. It's not something that you have to follow, but you can extract some idea, for example, for painting, for bases, and so on. Or you can find some intriguing idea as like this, that it's the Liege Kentaurus part with the Gothic Sylvester part up here. And I really quite like, because I created my own Kentaurus, and if you're interested about, I'll leave the link in the description, so you can really understand that I love such type of things. And this, it's really quite an amazing part, because it's a way really to combine two models, and I thought in some way about something similar to this, but not this particular one, so you can really find inspiration about, and I quite like, sincerely, because it's really quite amazing. I have also these that are more basic, but anyway, it could be inspirational about maybe some shining future, so on. And then here we have something that it's really quite intriguing, and it's the siege. So we can have now the rules for playing the siege, and it's not so simple, because the siege, it's one of the, we can say, the better things that you can play in every game, because it's strange, it's a sort of culmination of something, and it's always nice. So we can see some of the blood weapons related, and it's always nice to think about. Then we have this that it's about things related about the General Handbook 23-24, and if you think about, we are quite close to see this year, this year, the new one. I don't know exactly when it will go to be released, maybe in May, we can see. Anyway, this it's a way to understand how it works and so on, and maybe so if you are going to still play the games so like this, you can understand better why they made some choices about so on. It could be really quite intriguing. And then about the Curse City, with playing the cities of Sigmar, so we can find new rules to play with, and it's really quite intriguing. Remember that you can photocopy these parts eventually and prepare your schedules, so this could be taken up side. So remember that you are loved, because there is such writing, so you can do the photocopy without any problem of copywriting, and it's really quite intriguing. I suggest you eventually, and really nice. I really like, and really I'm trying to play a bit of Crusade City, and I think about if it's okay to play bring on the channel some of the contents related, but I always love the part about the background of Crusade City itself. Here are this that it's about the scenery and background battlefield about, in this case, Necromunda. So it's a good way to see, and you can take inspiration about creating your own pieces. Usually there is these schedules that are okay, and really it's really quite simple about, but I quite like, because it's a way to inspire, and I think that they're really quite good. Here we have this that it's related again about the computer, but about the rules, and here we have this that it's a part of the book, we can call like this, that it's in this case about the Townkeepers, that I want to remember you, it's the chapter of Space Marines created by the team of the White Dwarf, that step by step it's gaining background, rules and so on, and it's always nice. So I think that it's always something to see for, and it's always useful to read such ones, because eventually it's a way to, I can say, less money give to Black Library, read some English, know new background that it can be referred to armies that you know, that you don't know, or that know new authors that you can like, or eventually that you yet know, and so you want to read more about them because you like as they write. So I think that it's always nice. Here we have the study studio, that is an anticipation of what we see in the next background, in the next White Dwarf, so the background that you can see and so on. So it's always quite nice, and you can find also some idea maybe to create some photos and so on. And so here we can see that there will be this that it's again anticipation, and we can see that there is things related about the old world battle report. I want to remember you that this month has been in January, has been released the old world, so the old Malleus before the destruction and so on, and with the rules and so on. I'm thinking about bringing some contents related, because I'm able to find something, but I'm still thinking if it's good, because miniatures I have tons. About the monolithic, it's a bit problematic to find, so I'm really thinking about. And here, so we had this, that it's instead related about for Warhammer 40k, so I'm quite curious to see what it will be the main theme of the next White Dwarf. Anyway, what to say about such White Dwarf? I think that it's nice. There are tons of views that you like Cursed City, that you like for Necromunda. There is the siege part that I completely love. There are, again, a lot of things to see. There are a lot of inspiration, and I had quite a lot of ideas about modifying, for example, for Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar. Moreover, about, as we have seen, the model related about the Ossable Reapers, that sincerely I quite appreciate, and I'm thinking to copy in the future eventually a model like this, because I'll have for sure other pieces like that, and I'm really quite liking. So there are really a lot of options that you can have. Maybe it's not one of the best of the White Dwarf, because they could have more for sure, but here I found quite balanced. So a lot to read of background, to see about painting, to see about the part about modelism in general, so conversion or other, and I appreciate, really. It's more about writing, maybe, but as options. At least for now, only for the White Dwarf. I decided to put in description the link about my wish list for Amazon, if you are interested about making me a gift about. I know it's the first time that I do, so I hope that it works. Anyway, it's something that it's a try. Don't feel that you have to do or so on. It's simply something that if you want to cooperate with me, to give me some things that maybe I use then as a review or so on, it could be useful, or that can be useful also for the channel. So eventually you have a thing that you can share with. So from that mode, it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.